Today we got four people for our SBC Euro series. We got me, Emran Shibishi. We got Emran Mukhtar as always here, and two people that are here on alternate days. But today they're here together: Isaac Bekele, Noah Tadeli. We had to bring them all on today to talk about France's epic demise, the team that Isaac had winning the tournament before the tournament, even after the group stages. Imran changed his mind from Portugal to France after the group stages. Well, that went to hell too. And me and Noah are the only ones clean. We both have no. Who'd you have playing Belgium in the final?
England.
Lord have mercy. Okay, well, Noah won't be that clean tomorrow. But as of right now, Noah's clean too. And I have Italy, Germany, and both of my teams have moved on. Actually, Germany. I forgot about Germany. In my head, I just assumed they're moving on. I'm giving England no shot, to be honest. But, that remains to be seen. It's 50-50 in here, to be honest. I have I have Germany. Isaac has Germany. Imran and Noah have England. So it'll be interesting to watch tomorrow. But yeah, we gotta move. Where do we start with this epic game? Both of them were epic games. We're gonna talk about more of Spain, Croatia, Belgium, Portugal, all the games tomorrow. But today I didn't plan on recording today, but after what happened, we gotta do our whole own video on on France, Switzerland. Number one, let's just appreciate how great this sport is. My goodness, what a sport. You don't see this in many sports. Today has been the greatest day in international tournament history, in my opinion. In my years of watching, in terms of international soccer, I don't think I've seen two better games in one tournament. It's just been absolutely phenomenal. It's been absolutely phenomenal. Two great games. But yeah, let's focus on this France-Switzerland game as I share the lineups. Y'all can see that, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, well, let's move on. Let's first start off with the stats. So, the stats really say this was more of a one-sided game than it was. You see 26 shots to number one. I don't remember 26 France shots, but 26 France shots to 12 Switzerland shot, 8 shots on target to 5, 55% possession, 45% possession, about 100 more passes, 90 more passes for the French. Yeah, honestly, this is a game. This is a very complicated game to analyze, but I'm gonna say it in one quick sentence. The game should not have been that close. Should have never went to penalties. Because here's the deal. Switzerland, after the first half, they almost shocked the French. I don't say the French overlooked them because I don't believe maybe you could argue the French were complacent in how they played, but I will never say they overlooked them because a team with this experience, with this quality is not going to overlook a team in the knockout stages, no matter how bad they are, no matter if they're facing Ukraine or anything. A team will not overlook someone in the knockout stages because it's one game and it really came down to France complacency. They started off with a back three, which, I never really believed it was a back three. I thought it was more of a back four. But at first, it was Rabiot really playing in the wing back role. But then they completely shifted to where this moved into a back four, and Rabiot came into the midfield as Conte Pogba with Griezmann underneath. Basically, the formation that they always played, except they had really a center back on the left side, which left them susceptible. What's his name in the second half?
Pepe.
Mm-hmm. What's his name? But what's his name in the second half? Completely destroyed the right side. He came off the bench. Mbappé, my goodness.
Yeah.
But I'll get to his performance. I'll get to his performance later. Yeah, I thought France shocked them. Switzerland shocked them in the first half. They got a goal that they deserved. And in the second half, they came out the first 10 minutes, and it was more of the same. It was Switzerland getting the better chances. I know there was Mbolo threw on a goal, and I think hits Safarovic back post who completely cuffs the shot. And then another chance from Zuber. I think it was off of a turnover that led to a Zuber penalty, which Ricardo Rodriguez, I'm not going to say it was a game changer because Switzerland ended up winning, but that could have, and you could have argued, should have been the game changer. He misses the penalty. Which was a great save by Lloris. Appreciation to that. That was a great save. And that just completely shifted the momentum in one way. Completely. France had all the momentum in the next 5 minutes. Benzema, boom, it's 2-1 after 5 minutes, after a complete shift in momentum. And then Swiss, they battled, even though they're 2-1, they created some chances. And then Pogba with a staggering goal, and boom, that's the dagger. Well, no, it's not. Number one, I think there needs to be much, much more appreciation for Swiss mentality, the mental strength to go from potentially being up 2-0 to being down 3-1 after 15 minutes and being able to still come back and create chances and get back to the game. That is something that just this seems unbelievably hard in my head. I cannot imagine how the mental strength that it took for them to keep going, even though that they just or they thought that they just you know ruined the whole tournament. And they got their goal. They created many chances that last 10 minutes, and they got their 2 goals that they deserved. It was horrible defending by Kimpembe on that second goal. The center backs were split out wide. He got attracted to a runner that was making a run. I believe it was Mehmedi making a run on the right side, and Kimpembe completely got attracted by that, leaving a wide open space for Graven. I think his name is Gravenverch or something like that. Straight, yeah, Gravanovic, yeah, straight down the middle. I mean, it was just a cheap, horrible goal to give up. He gets done with a simple move to the a cut to the right, and it was a great finish, a absolute great finish. And it was nothing less than they deserved. They allowed so many chances. People don't talk about how many chances this French team allowed in this game. And I have to say, even Coman, he looked lively in very dangerous areas. When he was on the pitch, he was really the best player for France, and he almost won at the end too. It's just
by margins.
Yeah, it's fine. That's what that's what tournament football is. It's one game. This is not the NBA where you get four chances to redeem yourself. This is one game, one chance, and you don't take those fine margins, you will get burnt. And real quick before I move on, I just want to say on Mbappe's performance. I don't know if y'all read this, but before the penalty shootout, I typed in our group chat Mbappe was gonna miss.
I told my family that too. Yeah, I was not confident in him.
Obviously, I did not. Know for sure, whatever. But he just had a horrible game, a horrible tournament. All the pressure was on him. And to be honest, it wasn't the worst of penalties, but it was a great save. And the placement could have been better. And, it's really defined Mbappe's tournament. And when Mbappe gets compared of the likes of Messi and Ronaldo, this is when it's time to say, slow your roll. No. I'm sorry. I know he's 22, but no, absolutely not. No, he didn't have the best as he had a horrible tournament. And to be honest, this French team has a horrible tournament. And I think that they are around the 16th team. I think this is nothing less than they deserve. And speaking of which, too, France has a serious issue with wingbacks or fullbacks, whatever you want to call them, left back, right back. They are overrated too, and they have vastly underperformed this tournament. I think there needs to be a serious rehaul. Deschamps should be absolutely questioned. Why is Theo Hernandez probably one of the best left backs in the world, definitely the best left back in Serie A this season, or one of the best left backs in this Serie A? How does he not get in the squad? And with one couple injuries, now you're having to play Rabiot in a wing back role. Theo Hernandez was made for a wing back role. He creates chances. He's solid defensively. He's brothers with Lucas Hernandez too, so there's that chemistry there. I do not know how he does not make the squad. It makes absolutely no sense to me. Absolutely no sense. Oh, I might be wrong on that though. I think he's a right back actually.
Usually take.
I think
left back. Right.
Whatever he is, he's better than Pavard and he's better than Rabiot, especially at the wing back role. And he should have been in the squad.
Teams usually take two right backs, two left backs though. Like he picked Daniel over him. Maybe can fault him for that, but
he's a left back, yes.
Instead
of having to play Rabiot on the wing back role, you would have had Theo Hernandez, who literally plays that role at a top level for AC Milan. It makes absolutely no sense to me. And Deschamps has won a World Cup and all, but sometimes you gotta move on. And now, if I'm France, I'm looking to move on from Deschamps and making Zidane a manager like as soon as possible. I don't think that they'll do that, but if I was and not just because of the Theo Hernandez situation. The French team, they've outgrown the way that Deschamps plays. Deschamps nobody wants to talk about this, but Deschamps has a little bit of Southgate in him where he plays a little bit more of a pragmatic approach, more counterattack. He relies on the front three vastly, and they don't need that right now. They need a manager that's adaptive, that can play to the talent of the team. And that is what Zidane has done for Real Madrid for many years. He's been adaptive. He doesn't have a set way of playing. He can adapt to who he's going up against, the players that he has, and he has has the talent in this team that he had with those Real Madrid teams. So this is tailor made for Zidane. He should be like the manager like tomorrow. It should be announced tomorrow, in my opinion. And yes, congratulations to Switzerland, by the way. Imran?
Yeah, this was really an underwhelming game for France. I mean, they obviously didn't perform well coming into the game. Like their group stages wasn't amazing or anything like we expected. But I really thought they were gonna grow into the tournament. You know, like it's a few difficult games against Germany and Portugal. I don't know. But the
Hungary?
toughest, yeah, Hungary too. The toughest group, and I thought they were gonna improve, but that's not what we saw. In the first half, they were completely just not there. I mean, they conceded the goal, and in the second half, like after they conceded, I mean, no, they didn't.
I gotta say too real quickly. No slide to Pog Boom. But
It was amazing.
he was he had a moments of amazingness. I'll give you that. And he had a great goal. But he should be um criticized to the bone today because he was the one that was dancing after he was scoring his goals, basically flaunting in the Switzerland face. And I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for his turnover in the midfield, this game would be over because that allowed the opportunity for Swiss to get a third goal. He should be scrutinized, whatever what's the word?
Criticized, yeah.
Yeah, as much as Mbappe, as much as Deschamps, as much as Benzema, as much as everybody on the pitch, he should be getting criticism too. I know he had the great tournament, but he is the one that turned it over, and comes after the fact that he was basically dancing on Switzerland. Oh, look at this! I'm puck boom! I just scored a goal. Yeah, you just had a turnover too that cost them the game and cost them a chance to win the Euros. He should be absolutely getting hammered by the press. But nope. But I doubt that they'll do it. I thought they'll do it, but they
I'll have
should.
to watch it back, but I think he was surrounded. I
He
don't know if
turned
it's
it over in the midfield. He turned it over in a dangerous area that he had no business turning it over in, especially when you're up 3-2 and you're trying to control the ball. What are you doing? Trying to dance around? What is he trying to do?
That's what
Get
he
the ball in
always
the
does.
corner. Get the ball in the corner. It's 3-2. It's 3-2. You're not up 4-1 where conceding another goal is not going to be that big. Get in the corner. Yeah. So Isaac.
I mean, yeah, watching Pogba turn it over like that gave me flashbacks because he does that for United so much. He always whenever he turns over the ball like that, they go counterattack and the other team scores. And I mean, it's just pain. I wanted France to do good. I knew they weren't at their very best, but I still expected them to have the quality to get over every little hill and to. I mean, I thought they would win the tournament, but at least do far better than this. They can't go out to Switzerland. It's very disappointing. Looking at the team, out of the players who started, Lloris, Benzema, Kante had good games. Everyone else, not the best. I mean, Varane wasn't terrible.
You could argue Pogba had a good game, minus that turnover too.
Yeah, but he scored a goal. You could argue he basically cost the team a goal. Yeah, not good enough.
I thought Varane
not good enough though.
I thought Varane played well.
Yeah, you could say
stretches,
Varane played well.
Because he
and when Coleman came on.
Yeah, and Coleman came on. I think he was really man of the match. And I also thought, even though they considered 3 goals, I still thought Kante was still superb. But his worst performance is like a 7 to 8 out of 10. So like, we're really nitpicking him. It's just he's always consistent. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree with you. I mean, they played. Switzerland beat France with their best player Shaqiri not having a good game. Think about that. It was not like Shaqiri even dominated this game. We've seen Shaqiri dominate games and tournaments, going back to Serbia in the World Cup or going back to the World Cup beforehand versus Honduras, but he didn't even dominate this game. This is a total team effort. And Bolo, Seferovic, I thought Zuber has been great since Vladimir Petrovic brought him back into the starting lineup. Xhaka, looking like a world-class player in that midfield. I don't think he's a world-class player, but he looked great that game. I'll give you that. And I also Mbappe's performance off the bench, absolutely sensational. Well, we have a couple minutes left. Let's get Noah's point real quickly.
Man, that was an incredible game. France, that was so disappointing. I don't care if they scored 3 goals. That was disappointing. To first lay an egg in the first half, and then Lloris with a great save, and then Benzema it was just Benzema in like a matter of just span like 5 minutes, and then Pogba scores the great goal, and you're up 3-1. But look, some of the back Varane may have had like a decent game, but that back three got picked apart. Like in the few like when Switzerland scored the goals, they got picked apart, and that's embarrassing because that back three that's not supposed to happen. And
It
near
was a
the end
back
of the
four at
game,
that point.
back four, but near the end of the game, you were saying that Conte was getting back and another player was getting back to help that back line, and somehow Kempembe still doesn't do his job, and they score another goal. Seferovic scored two. They shouldn't have let him. They shouldn't have let him do that. Like capitalize. Like
And
what
by
I'm
the
saying.
way, speaking of, I still don't understand how Longlade makes this squad over Wesley Fofana, the 20-year-old from Leicester, and Aymar Laporte, which we all know if he got a call up from France, he's playing for France. Guess what? Now he's in the quarters with Spain and France are gone. Those two should have been in the squad over Longley. You could have argued those two should have been in the squad over Zuma too. Keep going now.
And he
Yeah.
shouldn't have started. Like Coleman should have been the ones. I mean, I know it's revisionist history, but I mean Coleman on the
Oh,
wing.
that one is tough. You know, Coleman is more lively off the bench because he can really use his pace to stretch teams that are tired. I'm not gonna because you already have the pace of Mbappe up there. You know, I'm not gonna debate with him on that point because, well, I mean, that's just nitpicking here because
If I'm not mistaken, was Severovic was both his goals headers?
And Seferovic, but speaking of which, I just want to say, after the first two games, the Swiss press was completely hammering him, you know, because he was missing his chances. And, you know, he got that break two against Turkey, which was a wonderful goal. And now, you know, he's getting in his moments. He has confidence. He scored 3 goals this tournament in 2 games. And, you know, if I'm Spain, I'll be just a little bit careful with him because dealing with him is not going to be the easiest task, especially when you have the pace of Embolo right next to you. You're going to have to worry about that too, the pace and power of Embolo. Yeah, Seferovic has bounced back greatly after he got completely hammered by the Swiss press. And the Swiss press do not mess around.
Oh, and Mbappe was terrible. I don't have anything to say about this man. He did nothing this time. Literally, I'm sorry, but like,
he didn't score a single goal, right?
Not one.
No goals.
Not one.
Assist?
See.
I don't think he had an
maybe.
assist.
I can't remember.
I don't think he had an assist.
I mean,
I
this game, I think this game he got an assist with Benzema.
Yeah, but it's not enough.
He
Like
had a-
as we can criticize Pogba
Yeah,
for
obviously.
doing that
I'm
huge
just saying.
turnover. Yeah, we can criticize Pogba for that huge turnover, but at least he scored goals this tournament. At least he did something. And Mbappe did nothing. Not really.
Something
Like,
not enough people
That was
talk.
their main
Yeah,
forward.
Langley. How about Langley? He
Yeah,
got completely
Langley.
destroyed.
I just
by
brought up
Langley.
the fact. Did I say Longley or did I say someone else?
No, you said Langley. You said
Yeah.
Langley shouldn't be over the squad.
How does Longley make the squad over Wesley Fofana from Leicester? I know he's 20, but he's still a far better center back than Longley. Let's be honest. It's just that Longley happens to play on Barcelona and Fofana has to play on Leicester City. And how does he make it over
Laporte, who's on Spain.
Laporte, who if he does, he should be playing for France right now. I don't care what anyone tells me. He did not choose Spain over France. France did not want him, and I'm pretty sure he's.
Yeah, and
I
then
think
he
that's
said, "Now
yeah,
take my talents to Spain."
yeah. That's what happened. That's what happened. You could argue both of them should have made it over Zuma too, and you could also argue that maybe Upamecano could have had a shout too. I'm not a big
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Upamecano, but you could argue.
I mean, Langley had a bad season. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying
And
a lot of
Langley.
Their
A lo-
injuries also were a big part too.
a lot of people.
When he was playing, he probably starts.
Yeah.
If he wasn't hurt.
A lot of people, yeah, he'd probably play in that left center back role because that's where that will be where he's best positioned at. But yeah, speaking of which, or right center back role with either or. I was about to say something, but I lost my train of thought because there. Oh, a lot of people are not going to criticize Deschamps because he's won a World Cup. And, you know, that's fair. I mean, that bought him a little bit of leverage, but there's a lot of there's a lot of things that he's done that is very questionable, and someone has to speak upon it when it comes to squad choices, lineup choices, treatment of players. How does Giroud, your number 9 that won the World Cup with you? I know he didn't score any goals, but he's the number 9 that you won a World Cup with. How do you basically throw him to the side for Benzema and not play him at all this tournament? Especially when, I mean, Benzema has looked good in moments, But let's be honest, he hasn't even had the best of the
Goals are
tournament too.
getting.
Giroud should have had a bigger role too in this tournament too. It's just so many question marks that we don't have to. I don't want to get
Can I
into right
say
now
can I
because the
say
time
one
is
thing
running out.
about can I
Yeah,
say
real
one
quick
thing
because
about
we're running out of
Switzerland?
time. We're in our last minute. Real quick so I can close it out now.
The mental toughness you have to have, like you were just saying, to go up 1-0 and down 3-1 in the span of 15 minutes and to come back. The energy, they had so much energy. Their fans are getting into it like most football teams. But seriously, like they're capitalizing off the turnovers, they're getting the balls in and just scoring off. It was great to watch.
All right, guys, this is the end of our SBC Euro series. It was a great game for France, Switzerland. We'll be back with more posted very, very soon. And it was just fantastic to watch. I'm Imran Shibishi, Imran Mukhtar, Isaac Buckley, Noah Mukhtar. I'm Noah Mukhtar, Noah Tadeli. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Peace out.